Hi, I'm Anup, and I welcome you all to Blue Saffron, the podcast program of corporateshatak.com, sponsored by Jani Plastics. And you're about to receive knowledge on Indian and Australian GST, goods and service tax. Yeah, you got it right, mate. Let's get started, shall we? It's 23rd of August 2021. Today we are talking about revoking the cancellation of GST registration. Oh my god, sounds horrible, isn't it? Well, here's a classic case study, which is a true story. A skilled electrician come startup entrepreneur files for GST in India, Mumbai. He was doing business, providing services, generating GST invoices and giving to customers, collecting GST on behalf of the government and filing returns on time. Everything goes nice till March 2020. The GST tax consultant of this electrician misses a few return filing despite being provided with timely account books, that is sales and purchase data, due to COVID-19 pandemic. Now in this pandemic lockdown situation, there was a lack of clarity on filing dates extensions. So the poor hard-working electrician was unaware of the repeated email notifications sent by the government of India GST department, because simply they were going to the lousy tax consultant's mailbox. He was receiving it but wasn't checking them. So one day in February 2021, this electrician receives a hard copy of a letter via registered post saying that his GST was cancelled. Oh my god. Just like that, it was a pure shock to him. Then the situation was so he couldn't do his business anymore, could he? I mean, how could he? He couldn't give GST invoice to his customers. But how far can customers allow that? They want GST invoices, right? So he visits the local GST court, which of course doesn't look like a civil court, by the way, to lodge an application for revocation of the cancellation of his GST registration. Well, there's a proper legal defined procedure for that, and you can always find it out from the government's portal. So he convinces his lousy tax consultant to share some penalty cost burden for him because he was being ignorant and lazy. And the tax consultant turned out to be an honest guy in admitting his mistake and turned out to be a good person as well. So he was good enough to share the burden of the penalty. Well, it happens in India. Approaches the local GST department and submits the obligatory documents, shows the readiness to pay the penalty with interest, and follows up with the blind faith. Well, things don't end here. The date 15th of September 2021, very important date. This date approaches closely and past this date, as per the government rule, getting refund for all the GST that was filed wouldn't be possible. So this guy is now left with just 4 to 5 days. Just 4 to 5 days, okay? So this electrician is helpless. The officers have changed in the GST department. The department itself is pretty busy with the deadlines, and the time was flying. So as he discussed the case with me and I took the urgent call, I swiftly made a call to my young, dynamic, efficient tax consultant, and as per his advice, we filed a grievance. We filed a grievance on the official website. I'll tell you the name. It's selfservice.gstsystem.in. I'll repeat. It's a secured website, so it's https selfservice.gstsystem.in. Now, the local office response took place in just 3 days after filing this grievance, and the office accepted the penalty along with the necessary documents, and the work was done. So what's the takeaway? Rule number 1, do not panic, not to get afraid of what may come. Secondly, try bargaining with the responsible associates. Try negotiating with the authority, of course, in a humble yet disciplined gesture. Thirdly, always feel free to lodge your grievances at the right spot. Your grievance shall be heard. And finally, do not stop yourself from seeking help. So my dear listeners, I hope you enjoyed the audio. I also hope there was some takeaway for you. Signing off now. We'll come up with more interesting episodes. Till then, take good care of yourselves. Keep liking your one and only Blue Saffron. Cheers. Bye-bye.